All right, so this just arrived like a minute ago, and I'm going to check out the new 2022 Wild Turkey Masters Keep Unforgotten. And I'll show you the box, and then I'll move the box out of the way. But typical of last year, got a nice description, place for the bottle, little magnet here, nice olive drab color for this year. Little nod to the rye whiskey that's in here, combined with a 13-year-old bourbon. So it's 13-year-old bourbon. So think Russell's Reserve 13, delicious this year in particular. And then 8 and 9-year rye whiskeys finished for a time. They don't give a specific time. In rye casks. So basically what you're getting here is a high rye wild turkey, which is really exciting because normally I'd say Wild Turkey 101, that's got to be one of the best everyday bourbons out there. I put Wild Turkey 101 in the same group as Old Grandad, in the same group as Old Forester Signature 100 Proof. Those are like the standard, the best. But these special releases are interesting. And I like this one because, you know, I kind of put this in the ballpark of like Parker's Heritage, but this is not finished. So it's finished in a rye cask, but basically it's just an 8 and 9 year rye with a 13-year-old bourbon. That's the only kind of gimmicky thing about it. But other than that, you know, they've got a pedigree with this before. Unforgiven from a while ago, where accidentally some rye whiskey was combined in a vat with some bourbon. And that release was, at the time, it was a little bit ahead of its time because, you know, people hadn't seen releases like that before. But since they've done it before, I think this one's not a huge surprise, but just kind of interesting. And interesting that it's not like they keep pushing the envelope on higher and higher age statements, which I like because I feel like there's a certain point where you keep putting an older and older age on it, but the bourbon is not better, and everybody kind of gets this sort of group think where it's better, but it's not. So anyway, I like this because the ages are appropriate. Again, 13-year-old bourbon, 8 and 9-year-old ryes, finished in a rye cask. And then bottled at 105 proof. So again, not a ridiculous proof, not a ridiculous age statement. Really just some good standard innovation right down the middle, which I like. Wow. So nose is like leather pouch, just sticking your nose in like a leather bag or a leather pouch. There's definitely some yellow fruit in here. Maybe some tropical fruit. Maybe a touch of the rye spice coming through on the nose. It smells great. Pretty standard. I'll show you the color here. Nothing too dark. So finished in rye casks. So I assume that means this was finished in a used rye cask because it doesn't have like the darkness of like a secondary barrel that's new, but doesn't say that in the literature. So, all right, let's take a sip. That is bourbon candy sweet. The little oozy flecks between the staves, and you can smell it, and you kind of wipe your finger on it, and you can kind of get the sweetest part of the barrel. That is surprisingly very sweet. Lots of caramel toffee going on. Lots of kind of vanilla bean. There's a little bit of piney spice, a little bit of pepper in there. But the spice is very much secondary to that mid-palate sweetness. And at 105 proof, it's fantastic because it just has no bite whatsoever. It's just very mellow mid-palate. Once again, you kind of sip it and kind of push it back towards the front of your mouth. Stays sweet, stays mellow, more red fruit emerging, still that leather, and then a little kick of spice, a little piney note, but it starts sweet, its mid-palate is sweet, it finishes slightly spicy, but still sweet. And I'm just kind of surprised because I would have thought that the spice of the rye would have totally taken over this bottle. But what really shines through is the balance of sweet to spicy. And I gotta say, I love it. This is a great bottle of whiskey. I don't know what to call it, bourbon rye. It's a blend of those two, obviously, but this is a fantastic bottle of whiskey, and kudos to them for not going crazy high proof and not going crazy age statement to put something out that's really innovative and exciting. I don't know if because it doesn't have those things that you know, maybe people think it's not on par with other releases, but I love this whiskey. Tastes fantastic. It's balanced. It's beautiful. And excited because we just put 5 bottles up on bourbonworld.net. So make sure you go into any Big Red Liquors, Vine and Table, Cap and Cork. Make sure you're a VIP. Make sure you sign up for the October raffle because that's where this one will be included. Yeah, cheers to the eventual winner of this because it's damn tasty. Cheers.